good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your Realtor Hugo here with another live. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the mental health check-in. I hope that you're all having a wonderful, productive, and healthy Wednesday. As always, it is my pleasure to have you join me, and I am Hugo Quintanilla, your licensed realtor in Maryland, your realtor Hugo Online. Thank you to everyone that is so patient with me. You guys are amazing. At any rate, today we are going to be talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart. A book that I read a very long time ago that I personally think is awesome. It's by Steven Pressfield. It is The War of Art. It was recommended to me from a friend a long time ago, and she definitely helped me out with this book. It's to, more than anything, overcome perhaps what many would call a creative block. Um, so today we're going to be conquering your creative battles, unpacking the war of art. We're going to be talking about that book and about 10 key takeaways that we can draw out of that literature. The War of Art by Steven Pressfield is a popular book that delves into the struggles of the creative process, particularly the concept of resistance that artists, writers, and other creatives face. Here are 10 key takeaways from the book. Number one, defining resistance. Pressfield personifies all the internal and external obstacles to creativity as resistance. This force is what keeps us from sitting down and doing the work. I think we can all identify with that when it comes down to actually doing tasks that we need to do, and then all of a sudden finding everything under the sun to do except that. Number two, universal struggle. Resistance is experienced by everyone. It's not just a creatives who struggle sort of problem. Anyone trying to achieve any noble objective, like starting a diet or new business, faces resistance. It's just in the programming of being human, that initial hump to try to get over. Number three, characteristics of resistance. Resistance is invisible, insidious, impersonal, relentless, and fueled by fear. Understanding these traits can help you recognize and combat resistance. Remember that more than anything, after defining creativity and resistance, uh, really understanding how it can come into your life is about the next best thing that you can do from this book. Number four, professionalism versus amateurism. Pressfield makes a distinction between professionals and amateurs. I have always loved this. Professionals overcome resistance by showing up every day, no matter what, and committing to the long haul. And obviously, amateurs just do it while the going's good, or while they can, or there's no real consistency. And he delves into that in the book as well. It's just one of the another, I think, number three key takeaway of this whole book. And it's not a long read; it's a paperback, so it's a really quick read. Number five, love the work. To defeat resistance, one must love the work itself, rather than the potential rewards that might come from the work. This mindset helps maintain focus and dedication. Um, when I was starting out in my career in real estate, they said, fake it till you make it, and a whole bunch of stuff. But um, more than anything else, one of the things that got me through the hard times was understanding good business practices and understanding that goodwill today will come back to you tomorrow. If you plant seeds today, someday someone will say something in your favor that might help pave the way. So understanding the love of the work and what your real root cause is in any sort of endeavor is really true. Like, what are you there to do? Are you there to do this, or are you there to do that? And you really have to focus on what's really providing you either the monetary power to do what you want to do on your own time, or the control for you to be creating the life that you want to lead. Number 6, the role of the ego. The ego is a source of resistance between its focuses on the future and the results rather than the work itself. Humility is seen as a valuable tool for professionals, keeping the focus on the work. Remember, you're always in the mood of, well, in the airs of learning and developing and growing. So, yeah, you have to really put your ego aside and just always be in the process. Number 7, support from the muse. Pressfield introduces the idea of invoking the muse, a mythical concept of divine inspiration. He suggests that showing up and doing the work invites the muse and creativity flows more freely. The concept is a little bit more scientific when you get into the book. He just breaks it down to the fact of just sitting down a certain time a day in a certain process and just doing the work, and the muse will come. So for me, that personally has worked. It's just a matter of doing the repetitions and really sitting down and trying to do the work. If you're, excuse my French, half-assing it, then you're only cheating yourself. You know, I could go to the gym all day long, but if I'm doing 5 pound reps, what am I really doing? Um, you have to try to build resistance and build actual, flow. So when you set this time apart, when you kind of rear in the creative kind of free, like, hey, I'll create when I want to, and really set into it might not work for everyone, mind you. That's something that this book is, what, like maybe 7 8 years old, but it might not work for everyone. But if you're someone that finds themselves kind of straying away, rearing that kind of spirit in and kind of sitting down a set amount of time every day can really be beneficial for you. And it can just give you something different to try. It's worth it, at least for 21 days, because more than anything else, you want to establish the habit of doing this. And it's like with anything, you start going to a certain place enough times, you start going to a certain restaurant enough times, you end up liking it enough to do it as a regular thing. Number 8, the importance of territory. He discusses the concept of territory, which refers to any endeavor that sustains an individual spiritually and physically, such as writing, painting, or entrepreneurship. True artists and professionals are drawn to their territory and, and derive, strength from it. It really, I heard it today in very clear layman's terms. If you like making flutes, you will have the energy to make flutes after your 9 to 5. Take care of your priorities, make money, and then make your flutes afterwards. You will have the energy to do it. Talk to anyone that crochets. Talk to anyone that has any sort of pastime that's worthwhile. They will really bend over backwards and find the strength to go on to do it. Where there is a will, there is a way. So focus on those things after you make the money, because more than anything else, you do have to keep up your living costs, and as we all know, it's getting more expensive to be out there. So I hate to kind of like ground people's dreams nowadays. I used to be so, yeah, go ahead and follow your dreams, kids. Uh, Now I have to really be like, hey, so what's your game plan now? um, you'll find your own territory more than anything else. Don't let someone teach you what your territory is. You can learn different territories. You can become the avatar of territories if you want to, but you will always have a territory that speaks to you the most. Um, Sometimes that territory is not the territory that you're the most proud of, or feel that it's something you do so easily you don't really see it as important, beneficial. So be humble with yourself and really see, how it's something that maybe somebody else can't do. Number 9, hierarchy versus territory. Pressfield contrasts the hierarchy, where an individual competes against others and success is measured externally, with the territory where success is internal and self defined. He encourages focusing on territory to foster true creativity and satisfaction. Understanding the internal pressures, the external pressures, really a great way to look at it and to keep yourself balanced. Number 10, actually, going back to that point real quick, because it kind of leads into criticism. It's a great way to also ground yourself, especially in the social media world where people will fling anything at you. Um, it really does help to keep you even keel, because if you really sit there and start diving into these comments, it just gets so ugly sometimes. Number 10, life beyond resistance. The ultimate goal is to move beyond resistance and reach a state where creativity happens smoothly and without obstructions. This state is akin to being in the zone where work flows naturally and effortlessly. That really is a great place to be. Being in flow and being just in the right place at the right time when you need to be there is really um, a key to timing, a key to this world, a key to what we're doing here, and also your purpose as a realtor, really speaking out on my own personal endeavors. This book has helped me so much on anything that I really applied it to. So, um, creativity to me is hand in hand with my work. Um, so I found this really helpful. If you're just joining us tonight, we were talking about The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. It's a popular book that talks about the creative process and what you can do to kind of make it a little bit more consistent in your life if you're having troubles. Number 1 was defining resistance. Number 2, universal struggle and understanding that everyone experiences it. Number 3, characteristics of resistance. Number 4, professionalism versus amateurism. Number 5, love the work. Number 6, the role of the ego. Number 7, support from the muse. Number 8, the importance of territory. Number 9, hierarchy versus territory. And number 10, life beyond resistance. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you have any questions about the book, let me know. If you've read it and like it, leave a comment. Leave your thoughts on it. If you end up reading it and like it afterwards, and tell me, what do you do for your creative process? How do you actually sit there and stay consistent in your work? I would love to know. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Hugo Quintanilla, licensed realtor in Maryland with Long and Foster. If you have any questions about real estate, we can feel free and talk about it. But we're actually going to talk about it in a few minutes. So stick around. I'm going to hop off and then hop back on probably in about 2 minutes. So I'll see you in a few. Take care. Talk to you soon.